Good morning and happy Thrifty Thursday, everyone. This is an open collaboration hosted by Sheree at Turquoise Dreaming. If you would like to look below, I will link her channel. And it doesn't have to be from thrift stores. It could be just any deals that you found that week. Just post your video and use the hashtag Thrifty Thursday and link to her shop. So this past weekend, I was super surprised. This time of year, normally estate sales and yard sales are pretty sparse. It's still pretty cold in the mornings, and honestly, I wasn't looking for anything to pop up when I checked. But my son was in class on Friday morning at our local university, and I just happened to look on Facebook Marketplace, and I saw a picture of an oscilloscope, and it said estate sale, 2-day estate sale, Friday and Saturday. And I texted him just a quick picture of the oscilloscope, which is something that he's been wanting for a very long while for his electronics / wood workshop lab space here at our house. And said, does this look interesting to you? Knowing exactly what he would say. And of course, after he got out of class, we headed over, and it was a yard sale in that it was in the garage and in the driveway, but it was technically an estate sale. We got a little bit more information as the time went on, and we actually went back the second day with my husband, but it was a former audio engineer, really into music and home theaters and things like that. And then a lot of the stuff that he had received from his father, who used to be a watch and clock repair guy as well as a radio guy. And I think one of them must have sold televisions too, because there was a lot of television items and repair kits from the 1950s and 60s. Super cool, just super cool all around. Sadly, the oscilloscope was not there anymore, but my son did find a couple more electronic gadgets that we just had to bring home. And of course, I found a few things as well. It's very rare for me not to, right? Okay, so first I'll show you the books. Now everything is very musty and dirty, so I'm gonna have to give everything a good scrubbing, but I found this 1985 expense and tax record. And these will just be pages that I can remove and tuck into journals or use as a page in a very small journal. But it's basically, it's a Dave Ramsey notebook from the 1980s to help you keep track of your daily expenses. I already had one of these books, and mine is red, but these are black. But I decided to go ahead and get both of these. I'll probably be listing one of them in my shop if this is something that you're interested in that you don't have yet in your stash. But this is just a beautifully weathered, let's see some notes here, shorthand textbook. I think it was published in the, let's see, 1936 was the date of this publishing. So super cool. I love the font. I thought when I bought my red one, I put it on my bookshelf of books to also make into a journal just because of how gorgeous it is. I found this antique songbook, and I need another songbook, but the pages of this one were just so deliciously brown, I had to grab it. And the book's for 50 cents. So let's see what year this is. I don't think I checked years on many of these things at all. 1942. I found this ledger, and the lines are just a beautiful shade of, this is Woolworths, by the way, a beautiful shade of pink and blue. Simple, basic, nothing fancy. Just a nice ledger. Okay, so a lot of the instruments that they had for sale at this yard sale were this brand. Is it Konar? And I found a catalog from the 1970s, so of course I had to grab this. A lot of this is TV and radio, but Just super cool fonts. It's got the original order form in here. And there's 2 order forms, one for special members and one for normal members. So I love how it has all different colors in it instead of just one color or black and white. The pictures aren't colors, but the words are different colors. And then I got 3 textbooks. Again, either the father or the son must have majored in electrical engineering, because that's kind of what I gathered from what I saw there. This one is pretty warped. As you can see, the book is, I don't know if you can see it, the book is literally shaped like a letter C, but it doesn't matter because I will be using these pages for journals. So it's funny how we are looking for something and we come close to buying something online, and then we go to a yard sale and we find it for 50 cents. The one thing I was lacking for my space journals was textbook pages that were upper level math and science. Well, I found all 3. So this is a electrical and circuitry type textbook, and it's got all of these circuit diagrams, everything that I was looking for, just perfect. And then I got this one, which is university physics. So we can pretend like this is astrophysics, can we not? Beautiful. And then engineering, drawing, and geometry. Geometry is pretty big for space research. So this has all kinds of things like the designs of bolts and things that obviously go into spacecraft that have to be engineered with perfection in order not to fail. So I was so excited that I was finally able to get some upper level math textbooks, and I only spent $1.50 on all 3. One more book. This was just sitting there randomly on the second day of the sale. I don't think I'd seen it the day before. Constitution and Bylaws of the Slovak Catholic School. 1905, organized. And I don't know when this book was published. I don't know if this book is that old or not. It doesn't look that old. But basically, the left side is Slovakian. Is that a language? It looks sort of like Polish. And then the right side is English. But just beautiful rounded corners, just beautiful pages that I can use in tucking into junk journals and using as backgrounds for tags and collaging. Super neat. My husband made a joke. He went up to the lady who was running the sale and said, "I have been looking for a copy of this book for years, and I'm so glad I finally found it." She looked at him funny, and then she started laughing. This is something that I've been wanting for a long time, and knew that if I just held out, I would see one. Now, truth be told, I have not tested this yet, but the lady said if it was still in the house, it probably still works. It's just missing the battery door. And so this is a Sanyo tape Walkman. I guess you could call it a Walkman if it's not Sony. But I'm excited about this just because I have so many childhood tapes and love to listen to them from time to time, and this will be a lot easier than pulling out our large tape deck and hooking it up to speakers. So that was cool. I think I paid $1 for that. And y'all know, if y'all look up Walkmans on eBay, they go for a lot now. I picked up this ruler. It's one of those triangular rulers, and honestly, I have a obsession with rulers, I think, at this point. But this is one that I think will be helpful because sometimes when you're trying to measure something, you know, sometimes I'll use this mat to quickly measure a card to see if it's gonna fit like I want it to. But if the ruler is buried under piles of paper, you have to dig and find the ruler. This way I can just leave it right here on top and just quickly eyeball Yep, 6 inches, you know, that kind of thing. So I really don't know what this type of ruler is called. I'm sure it's an engineering type of ruler. It says Doric. I don't know if that's it, but excited about that. If nothing else, it's a conversation piece. I found 2 unopened packages of these index card dividers, and y'all know that these are like gold for us, so I'm excited about these. These were just laying on top of a record player, so I just threw this into my pile. These are those pre-postmarked blank index cards, and they're pretty dingy, but again, we don't need them to be pristine for junk journaling. So now this is something that I have in my personal collection. That was my mom's, but I would never sell it. But I found this one, and this will probably most likely be going into my shop. It is open, but it appears to be complete. Let's see if I can grab one. I'm not sure that it was used. Maybe it was. I see a little bit of white residue on this one. This looks like half of a wreath right here. Okay, so I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, but this came out, I want to say this particular version was around 1958 or 59. It's going to be hard to get that back in here. These are just wax paper type covered stencils, and you used to be able to buy this stuff called glass wax, and it's a liquid that came in a can, and you could polish your glass with it, and evidently it worked really well. I don't know why they don't make this product today, because I feel like Windex leaves streaks. But you soaked a sponge in it, and then you would put this on your window and dab the sponge over it, and it would create the effect of snow when it dried. And of course, when you clean it off, it is glass polish. So when you clean it off, you have the double benefit of having very clean windows after Christmas. So super neat. I will be putting this in my shop. If nothing else, the package, I use my package every year as a Christmas decoration on my shelves. So it's just beautiful. I'm excited that I found that, and I was surprised it was still there the second day. I picked up a travel map of Texas. Judging from the cars on the road, it looks like the 70s. Interstate 20 is what this is a picture of. Let's see if there's a date. I doubt it, but nope, I don't see a date. But yeah, whenever I see a map at a good price, I pick it up, and I love Texas. So, and last but not least, if I can pick it up, I found a box of, again, another thing that I was literally looking on Facebook Marketplace for, but was like, I refuse to pay $14 to ship file folders to my house. And I knew that I'd eventually find some in a thrift shop or a yard sale. So these are just, it says hanging file folders, and there are some under here. But this is, I mainly got it for the manila. Just because, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but most of the manila file folders nowadays, at least in the Walmart brand, are so flimsy. They're so thin, and they also have like this not desirable rough texture to them. Well, these are not. These are, I have felt them thicker than this, but they are not rough. They're pretty smooth. And if you're going to make a file folder junk journal, you want to have one that's not flimsy. So I was glad to get this. And the green hanging folders are good for just providing, you could make a journal out of them as well, but they also provide a good backdrop for when you fussy cut magazine images and you want to back them for a tuck spot to something sturdier. Those are perfect for that. And you don't want to pay a lot of money for something that you're not going to see. So that was my estate sale haul from this past weekend. I will say that I also got a box of patterns, sewing patterns, from the late 50s through the mid 70s, but I will not be going through that in this video. There was a little bit of evidence of creatures. I don't know if it was mice or whatever, but little nibbles, and I was like, I'm going to open these outside just in case, you know, I find that it makes a big mess. I don't want that in my house. So I will be going through those outside and making sure there's nothing weird, and then taking all of the patterns apart, that because they've all been cut and used, and trying to salvage the pattern covers. Did I say that I only paid $2 for the box? I mean, it was not much money at all. So I hope I can salvage most of them, but we'll see. But I'll flip through those in a separate video. I may do that next week if I don't make it to a thrift shop this weekend. But thanks for joining me again. Again, head to Sheree at Turquoise Dreaming for more Thrifty Thursday videos. And I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Talk to you again soon. Bye.